with dropshipping, you're kind of like on the edge about whether you even really like it. And I've never met a dropshipper, even when they're making a lot of money, who is like really, really, really proud of what they do. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. And this one, it's a popular topic that I felt like I needed to address because I have a lot of people asking this question is, and I can speak to this because I've come from the industry. I moved from the industry to a new one, basically dropshipping versus running an agency, okay? And, you know, I come from a line of, like, the train of thought that, like, really, truly any model that you work in, any niche that you work in, any industry could work out for you. It's really down to your habits. It's down to your worldview, your mindset, the things that make you up as an entrepreneur. These are the most important things that will allow you to or not to see success as an entrepreneur. And so really what you're going to want to work on at your core and on a day-to-day basis is what's going on up here. Okay, that is the most important thing. And I know you hear it all the time, but truly, I mean, it's why in the course that I sell, we have, you know, a whole week of mindset reprogramming training. And I believe it to be that important that I literally include it in my paid program. So that being said, I want to talk about dropshipping versus running an agency because I think a lot of beginners who are just sort of coming around to the concept of running a digital-based business, you know, they hear a lot about e-commerce, running dropshipping businesses, primarily like Shopify and, you know, these sorts of models. And I actually used to teach it. I used to do it and teach it. And now I do and teach running an agency. And I've removed a lot of the videos of me teaching dropshipping and talking about it because, frankly, I don't want those people coming to my channel because I don't have any interest in helping them anymore. But I'll probably throw up, Keel, my video editor, if you could ask me later, just get a quick screenshot and throw up some videos that I've recorded on dropshipping so you can see I used to do it, okay? And now one of my clients as well in the agency is actually a dropshipping educator, and he's one of the only people that I know that does it right. That's really what I want to talk about in this video. And by the way, Mark, you know, we're going to get him to like $1 million a year easy, $100,000 a month likely in 2020. He's just crushing it. His program's amazing. It's a high-ticket, serious program. I think it costs like $2,000, and we're doing it right together. But very rarely do you see people doing it right. And I want to talk about that in this video. So here's the problem. I think dropshipping is a totally viable model. I think it works. I think there's plenty of people making a lot of money doing it. But the problem is how it's positioned. And there's a popular phrase that goes, you know, the attitude you bring to the table determines the taste of the food. And when people look at dropshipping like a quick, easy way to make some beer money, then they're not going to take it seriously, and naturally the business model has been tainted and skewed and messed up because they're marketing to people who just want a little extra money, like $2-3 a month, and they just want to be able to make money online and not grow an actual business, okay? And that's the big difference, really, in my eyes, between a real like entrepreneur and just, you know, like your freelancer, your typical online entrepreneur, right? So because dropshipping has been positioned as this beginner-friendly, anybody can do it kind of a business model, therefore it attracts people who are looking for shortcuts. And because people are looking for shortcuts, they trim corners and they cut corners and they start to make decisions that ultimately don't benefit them long term. Things like selling products that don't actually work that well, or, you know, slow shipping times, or tiny margins. Like, I don't know many dropshippers who have more than 5 to 10% margins. Like that, like a 10% margin on a dropshipping store is almost unheard of. Okay. So you see people who are like, oh, I did like $3 million last year. Yeah. Well, really what that means is they probably pocketed, you know, $150,000 to $200,000, you know, maybe on a really, really good year. Okay. And frankly, that $150,000 to $200,000 is just not worth the amount of customer like complaints that you deal with, the amount of like internal structural issues when running a dropshipping business. But it is a viable model. And frankly, if you're in dropshipping, I would recommend, and this is somebody who's been in dropshipping and has sort of evolved from it, and now even some of my clients were very similar to dropshippers. We did some e-commerce work with my agency there for a minute. You know, if you're in dropshipping, the model that I recommend is prove out a product, you know, sell at least $50,000 to $60,000 of a product, and then take that product and private label it and start a brand, start a proper brand, okay? Then you're going to start to keep higher margins, you can raise your prices, and then word of mouth begins to work for you, and that's when you have a serious actual business in my eyes. Until then, you have a very, very leveraged model, and anything that's built off of leverage can collapse just as easily as it was leveraged, okay? And that's why dropshipping, in my eyes, is not the best place to stay long term. Good place to start. I think a lot of people start there, and that's totally fine. But gosh, man, let's compare a lot of that to running an agency. So some of the stuff with dropshipping is like, low margins, a lot of customer complaints, a lot of customer issues. You got to like hire a team of VAs to basically handle all of the issues that come with running a dropshipping store. It requires like a lot of technical research. Like you have to know a whole lot. There's a lot of technical that goes into it, and you have to learn a whole new skill set, which is like Facebook advertising or like marketing. A lot of people think it's as simple as putting up a store and you're going to start to get sales. It's really not that. Like literally, you have to start a store, but then you have to do market research on products. And you have to find the right products, which alone can take 4 to 6 months, and then you have to learn how to do Facebook ads, which can take a whole other 4 to 6 months if you're not learning from the right person or in the right way, right? And so then you're a year in, you haven't made any money, and not only are you in without any money, but also you have only one skill set at this point, which is Facebook ads, and it's taken you a year to get there, okay? And it's unlikely that you've profited a dime. And now there are some people, however, I'm going to say there's exceptions to this rule. There's some people, again, that are killing it. Like, again, my client for my agency, Mark, he has a drop shipping educational product, and he took somebody from being a single mother with 3 kids, working like 3 jobs, to just running a drop shipping store. And that's her full-time income, and she's planning on private labeling it, scaling it properly. So there's some people out there that are teaching it and doing it right, okay? But let's compare some of those sort of characteristics to running an agency. So running an agency, it's a cash flow business model. So literally from day one, you're profitable, okay? Which means day one meaning the day you get your first client. From day one, you're profitable, okay? There's no exception to that rule. You are always profitable as an agency owner. And then you can hire on a team, and that cuts into like 30% of your margins. But gosh, it is so worth it because you have so much more time to then focus on growing the business, okay? And let's just talk about the emotional side of it too. Honestly, back when I was doing dropshipping, I had a hard time like owning it. I had a hard time going around to my friends and family and saying, yeah, this is what I do. Like I sell random Chinese products online. And, it just didn't feel like something I could own, and it didn't feel like something I could be proud of. And that's a huge deal. When what you do conflicts with sort of your identity and who you'd like to be, then it's going to be near impossible for you to focus on that in such a way that it scales long term. I've never seen anybody who runs a business that they're not proud of that takes that business and scales it to a point where they can then begin to fulfill their dream as an entrepreneur, which is maybe it's 6 figures for some people, 7 figures for others, 8 figures for others. It has to be something that you're really proud of, okay? And you have to find reasons why you're proud of it. And that's another reason why I love running an agency, because honestly, the most fulfilling thing for me at this stage is seeing clients and obviously students who run through my programs succeed. That is fulfilling. And it's something I can put my name to, be proud of, wake up every day with a fire under my butt, and want to get back to work on. With a dropshipping store, you don't know your customers. You don't know what their experience is. You've never met them, okay? It's a bunch of random people as opposed to a few people that are really close to you, all right? It's low margins. And so, I think you're beginning to get the point here. I really think running an agency is just a generally better model, because it only takes 2 or 3 clients to have the type of income that you would need, that you would get from running a dropshipping store that does like $1.5 million a year. It only takes a few clients, and then you're just managing clients as opposed to managing like a whole freaking like hundreds of customer support emails a week, and all these issues with shipping and handling, and all these issues with your sites shutting down, and then like AliExpress no longer selling the product that you have, and then supplier issues like that. And gosh, there's just so many variables involved. I really just don't think it's a smart move long term. I'll be honest with you. Long term, it's just not a smart move. Short term, I think it's great. I think it teaches you the basics. It teaches you, frankly, all business models are simple. They are traffic, sales, and delivery. How do you get eyes? Okay, which like with dropshipping, it's Facebook ads. How do you get sales? How do you turn those eyes into sales? And then how do you deliver the product or the service at the end of the day? And what is the quality of the product? And how good is it? And does it compare well to competitors? Or is it so good that it innovates against competitors, right? So it's traffic, sales, and delivery. And with an agency, it's the same thing. It's traffic, sales, delivery. Traffic, how are you getting eyes on your agency? How are you getting potential leads in the pipeline? Are you doing, for example, a lot of people are very, cold calling is very common. My whole theory on cold calling is if you're going to do it, have a team do it for you. You don't want to do it. I think cold calling is in general stupid if you're the one doing it. Have a friend or a team or somebody doing it for you so that you can focus on the other elements and just pay them commission, right? Pay them like 20% of anything that they book you, forever, monthly. And then besides that, I think this traffic, right? So you're trying to get leads in your pipeline. It's sales, which is landing meetings and how you're handling the meetings and how are you selling the service, how are you positioning yourselves as an authority. And then delivery, which is, do you have a team or are you doing it yourself? How do you communicate with the clients? Is it over Slack? Is it over WhatsApp? I did WhatsApp for a long time. What types of services are you delivering? Is it Facebook ads? Is it YouTube ads? What type of niche do you focus on? So it's really all the same at the end of the day. So I think there's skills that across the board apply no matter what industry you're in. So in general, you're going to collect skills along the way. And that's what you want to be as an entrepreneur. You want to be a full stack set of skills. You don't want to just be Facebook ads or just be sales or just be e-commerce or just be you want to have a really good understanding of everything so that when you move into a new industry, you have the principles and the understanding to apply to that industry to make it work. And that's why, really, truly, I believe one of the biggest assets that I've built as an entrepreneur is not just my business as it is now, but my perspective and how I operate as a business owner. So no matter what niche I arrive in, I'm going to do well in that niche. So my point in saying that is if you're in dropshipping right now, don't feel offended here. Don't feel like I'm taking a hit at dropshipping or dissing it or thinking it's not a viable model, because it really is for a lot of people. But I want you to understand that long term, the most valuable thing that you're building is what's going on up here. Okay, it's your perspective. And looking back on dropshipping, I could have made so much more money if I had the perspective that I have now as a business owner. If I had the standards that I have now as a business owner, the things that I internalize as my standards, like literally everybody has a certain number of money, a certain amount of money in their bank account, where if they go beneath that, they begin to panic. Okay, everybody has that. And literally mine has raised so much since when I was doing dropshipping. It's raised like almost 50x since when I was doing dropshipping, okay? And literally that's just simply because I began to shift my identity, shift who I think I need to be, and shift my standards for myself. And that then shifts into how diligent I am in my work and how good I am at what I do, which is all really, really important stuff, okay? And I want you to understand that if you're in dropshipping, the lessons you're learning apply across the board. You can start an e-commerce agency, for example, right? Or maybe, for example, you could start to become a dropshipping educator. You can help people start their own stores and do it right, not just be a freaking, another one of them, but do it right. Like my client Mark, for example, he's doing it very, very well, and he's got amazing stories underneath his program. So dropshipping versus running an agency. And let me check how much time we've got. Yeah, I've been recording for a while now. I think I'm about good to wrap this up. I hope I've made some good points in this video today for you. Dropshipping versus running an agency. Honestly, if you're going to start with an agency. Okay, if you're a brand new entrepreneur, you've never made your first dollar online, start with an agency. The hurdles that you're going to jump running an agency, personally and just tactically, will allow you to be a better, more tactical, sharper, wealthier entrepreneur in the long term. Because running an agency requires sales, which is honestly one of the most important tactics, the most important ideas you could study is sales. How do you turn people from strangers into buyers, right? Of course, you do something similar with dropshipping, but it's just tiny products. It's not real services. It's not things that, bring margin, okay? You're going to learn sales. You're going to learn people skills, how to deal with people internally with your team and externally with clients. One of my favorite things and something that I teach inside of my program is your team is your internal customers and your clients are your external customers. And you got to view it this way. This is how you scale. This is how you grow. And if you've desired to be a leader and a business owner and somebody with a team, somebody who inspires people and sees lives impacted with your work, agency work is the best way to go. With dropshipping, you're kind of on the edge about whether you even really like it. And I've never met a dropshipper, even when they're making a lot of money, who is really, really, really proud of what they do. And I hate to take that stab at the industry, but really, I don't know many that are proud of what they do, put their name to it, and want it on their gravestone. They're really just in it to make money. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want more than just cash, then I recommend running a business that's something that you really love doing. And to be honest with you, I would be doing this if I wasn't getting paid. 100% I'd be doing this if I wasn't getting paid. Every element of it, running the agency, running the team, managing the team, all the issues that come with managing the team, everything involved, all the issues that come with clients wanting refunds, wanting to get out, all the bad stuff and all the good stuff, seeing clients succeed, having great relationships with my team. Literally, I was out in Amsterdam, which is also where I got my first Rolex, which I'll be making a video on soon. And I had a push-up contest with my team member, Sam. And it's like, they're real people that I love and care about. And same with my clients. They're real people that I love and care about. Like right now I'm getting to know a new girl. And one of my clients is literally like so supportive of this girl. He's like, dude, you gotta you gotta get her out on more dates. Like she's perfect for you. Like it's real relationships with real people. And then there's money there. And it's just beautiful. It works in all directions. So if you're going to start with an agency, man. Like I couldn't tell you how stupid I was, to be honest with you, starting with dropshipping. I wish I would have started with an agency. I really wish I would have had the brain to think a bit more long-term and think a little less beer money, think a little less just a couple $100 a week and start thinking business owner, start thinking legacy, start thinking true entrepreneur. What am I doing with this life? What am I trying to build here? Am I trying to build a little fun, scrappy online business? Or am I trying to set an example for my future kids? What am I trying to do? And I really, if you followed me for a while on this YouTube channel, you know that I'm not just in it for money. I'm also in it for personal growth. I want to be a better man. If you took away all the money and all the wealth, all the prestige, all the notoriety, everything that I've gained as an entrepreneur, if you took it all away, I would be a better person today than I was when I started my journey as an entrepreneur. And I don't think you get that with dropshipping because, and I don't think you get that with most models. If you want to grow as an entrepreneur, you have to run a model where you're forced to deal with people. And I believe that. You're forced to deal with people on a very interpersonal basis. That's why I also like coaching business. That's why I run my coaching business. If you wanted to, you could schedule a call in the description and apply to work with me one-on-one to grow your agency. And the people that I work with there, they become just like genuine friends and people that I love. And actually my team member, Sam, who runs the ads for my clients, was a previous coaching student. So it's just relationships, and it allows you to be a better man and a better person. Or a better woman if you're a woman as well. I don't want to, just speak to men. So that being said, if you're going to start, I think you know my opinion, start with running an agency, okay? Dropshipping, it's low margins. You can't put your name to it. There's a lot of technical that you have to learn, and it takes you a long time, honestly, a really, really long time before you make your first cash, okay? And if you do make your first cash, you're keeping very little of it. If you make $100, you're making probably $7 to $10, on a good day, okay? And you got to understand that. You must understand that the margins are so slim. Whereas with an agency, if a client, for example, we had a client pay us $8,000 up front recently for a service. I kept 6 of that, just immediately in the bank. It's kept, okay? The rest of it goes to my team and the workflows that we use. And besides that, I kept it, okay? And it funds fun purchases. Revenue does not fund your life. Revenue does not pay the bills. Revenue does not pay mortgages. Revenue doesn't do crap. Okay, it's profit that does things for you. Profit can afford you fun purchases, and I'll be making a video on this Rolex soon. This cost me $9,000. It's a $9,000 watch, okay? And that's not at all to flex or to brag. It's just to say, look, there's profit involved in running your business the right way. This apartment cost me $3,500 a month to live in, right? Again, not to brag at all, just to show, look, I'm 20 years old, and I run an online business that affords me a lifestyle that I love living. And it gives me, literally, it's just so much flame and fire under my butt every day, and that's where I need to stay. If it were all revenue, I would hate to see $10,000 come in and keep 500 of it. I'd literally rather not make any money. I'd literally rather be broke than run a business that makes $5 to $6 million a year, and I keep $100,000, which is most dropshippers. And then they're dealing with all kinds of complex issues. So gosh, just run an agency, get 2 or 3 clients, get them good results, maintain those relationships, make them good relationships, let word of mouth work for you, keep your integrity, stay sharp, stay diligent, always be learning, hire a team, bring them on, give them 20% of all the margin, and just tell them what they got to do, train them, buy them courses, make them really sharp. And dude, you've got a business of your dreams. And that's where I'm at. I'm sitting on it right now, and I freaking love it. I freaking love it. and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And even on slow months, like right now, January is a really slow month for me. It's like I'm down like 40%. I'd say I'm down 28 to 30% this month. And I'm still loving it. I don't care because I've got a great team. I've got great relationships with great people. And if everything were to burn and crash and I were to like lose all my money, I would have been a better person because of this. And I'll have amazing people in my life forever that will always strive to make me better. And that's the benefit. That's the ultimate benefit in my eyes of running an agency. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I talk a lot about running an agency, how to properly do it, how to keep your integrity, how to build a business that you're incredibly proud of, and one that you can put your name to, put on your gravestone, and maybe even pass down to, generation to generation. That's my goal, is that I build a business that I can pass down, okay? And I think that's really, really, really important. Really, really important that you think that way. If you're interested in working one-on-one with me to grow your agency, link in the description, schedule a call with me personally, and we'll see if you're qualified, okay? I look for a specific kind of person. I say no a lot on these calls, but I want to make sure that you're right where I need you to be, and we'll work together to grow your agency. Whether you have an existing one, you're at like $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and you want to scale to six figures or above and beyond. I've had people start with zero with me, at zero, and make it to like $25,000, $30,000 a month in profit within a year of starting with me, okay? And so I know how to do it. I know how to do it right, and I want to help you do it as well. Schedule a call down below. If you're not interested in working one-on-one, obviously I have an online course, and you can check out the description for details on that online course as well. As good as these YouTube videos are, frankly, the course is action steps. It's direct. It's do this, then this, then this. It's not just information overload, right? And as well, you get all of the calls from all the recorded calls from real coaching students as well. So we have over 60 hours of recorded coaching calls from top students, including the one that I just mentioned, who's at 25 grand a month. I've got others that are at $10,000 a month in profit. You can see those calls, and just that alone could be a full course that I could sell for like 3 or 4 grand. But I'm building a whole course around those calls as well, including, actual content from myself regarding onboarding clients, sales, how to get results for clients, how to structure your agency, how to build your team, including a mindset section of scientifically backed principles regarding shifting your self-image that I personally have used that have allowed me to go from just like a broke kid to a successful entrepreneur at 20 years old. Okay, and the mindset's everything, and I hope you know that. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, once again, subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next one.